You know, there was a part of me that questioned whether or not I should come to Podcast Movement 2018. And I know that's a ridiculous thing to even think about, but let me explain. You see, just a couple weeks ago, I took my family on a whole week-long family vacation to the Smoky Mountains. And that was a 5-hour journey down to the Smoky Mountains. And then we even took like a whole 5-hour journey, well, 2.5 hours to North Carolina and then back. And then a lot of travel. And then at the end of that family vacation, we traveled 5 hours back home. We were home for just a few days. And then right after that, it was time for me to take my two oldest children, Matthew and Megan, who are 16 and 18. I took them to Chicago, another 5-hour drive, by the way, for Unleash the Power Within. I wanted them to experience the same life-changing experience that I had 2 years ago with Stephanie, and we had an incredible 4 days. And those were very long days. And of course, after that event, I drove 5 hours home. Now, I was back home for 1 day, and then on that Tuesday, I drove my wife and my two daughters. The three of them had tickets for Panic at the Disco at the same venue that I took Megan and Matthew to see Tony Robbins. I spent a couple hours by myself on Navy Pier, had an enjoyable experience, and then drove them home 5 hours. Got home at 5:30 in the morning. And then I had 3 days at home. And then it's time to pack up and come to Philadelphia for Podcast Movement. At the same time, I'm in the process of marketing the Free the Dream conference. And quite frankly, I still have a few hundred tickets that I need to sell, that I desire to sell. And it's not about the money. I'm already at break even, or will be probably by the end of this week. I will be at break even by the end of this week. So that's not an issue. But I have a mission, I have a vision of how many people I want to serve and reach with the message that I know that I'm going to bring and my speakers are going to bring. I will not accept less than 300 people at this event. That is just not within me to do. So, I've got a lot of work to do. By the way, how am I going to achieve this? You see, for me personally, I have never had a problem with direct sales. If I could have a conversation with you about your desire to come, but you've got reasons why you can't, and they're anything other than your wife's delivering your third child that day, or you're already booked to go on your 30-year anniversary trip that you've been thinking of for years. I mean, but if you say to me, Cliff, I would love to come to your event, but I just can't afford it. My business isn't in a place where I need it to be. And if you got all kinds of those things and you really want to be there, and if we could talk, and I could help you understand why you need to be the Free to Dream. And the thing is I've always successfully sold one-to-one direct sales to people. It's how I've done everything in my business up to this point. You see, prior to 2018, for me to succeed financially, all I needed to do was to sell 20 spots to Podcasting A to Z, which was a 4-week group coaching program at $2,000 per ticket. And I only needed to do that 6 times a year, and I could easily have a conversation with 30 people and get 20 of those 30 people to sign up for my course. No big deal. Well, I have zero experience in selling tickets or spots or seats to hundreds of people. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm like 7 weeks out from the event. And I start to get a little anxious. I start to actually have a fear. Who am I? Do I have what it takes to do this? Then I was reminded of a video interview that I saw from Steve Jobs. He was interviewed in 1994 about his success, and the question was something like, how did you go from you and your best friend creating a computer out of your garage, turning that into a $2 billion company in like a year, or whatever the statistics are, but it is something incredible like that. And he goes, most people never get the opportunity. Well, you know what? Hold on. How about instead of me telling you, I'm just going to freeze myself here while you guys watch this.
We always found something to be very true, which is most people don't get those experiences because they never ask. I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes? He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed, and he gave me the spare parts to build this frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett-Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them. And I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them.
Okay, so I was reminded of that interview and that response to that question. I'm like, And then I was reminded of something that I heard Tony Robbins say at Unleash the Power Within, going the second time. And he says, people don't fail to achieve their dreams or fail to achieve their goals because they don't have enough resources. See, it's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to tap into the resources that I have. And I believe that, think about who I'm connected to. My close personal friends are Dan Miller, author of 48 Days to the Work You Love. My close personal friend is Michael Hyatt. My close personal friend, Amy Porterfield. My close friend, I've got so many people who are influencers in this world. And you know what? Sometimes I forget that people would be willing to help me. Yeah. And so I instantly started to put things into action. And I'm thinking, okay, now I know what I need to do. Now I know what I need to do. And then I'm starting to think, okay, but I only have 7 weeks to do it. Am I wasting my time going to this conference, Podcast Movement? And then I thought, what a ridiculous thought. Well, first of all, one of the objections probably many other people have is like, Cliff, you don't understand. I have an event that's going on the week before your event, and then I've got something planned right after your event. It's just I don't know that I can make it to your event. Well, how bad would it be for me if I decided not to come to an event because, well, why did I come to Podcast Movement? It has everything to do with what Steve Jobs said. The thing is I know that people would be willing to help. So I came here with the express purpose of connecting with people, reconnecting with people I already know, and having conversations, and first intending to only be focused on asking them, how can I help you? What is the single greatest struggle you're facing right now? What is the biggest goal that you seem to, that you want in life right now? And what's holding you back from having that today or next week instead of 5 years from now? And just the most amazing conversations. And they're like, Cliff, what do you got going on? And I explained to them everything that I explained to you about the fact that I'm marketing this conference. And, everybody tells me that it's 4 to 6 weeks before the event is where 80% of your tickets are sold. And I'm like, I trust those people and I hope they're right. And if they're right, everything's good. But I have to tell you, I have some fear. But that's what my conference is about moving past your fear and how to do it. And it's all about your belief system. And I am applying my techniques that I will be teaching at Free the Dream to make this conference a reality. And not just the conference, but I'm talking about 300 people at this conference. It's going to happen. And right where I'm sitting right now, looking at the number of tickets sold, I'm break even, there's I could not do anything. Nobody else signs up, 65, 70 people. It's going to be a great time. But that's not the vision for this event. Here's the deal. I'm tapping into this resource of the people around me. And the interesting thing is every single person that I already know, they're like, Cliff, what can I do to help you? And they're giving me insights. They're giving me information. I've been emailing myself notes all throughout this event. And it's like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, and when I get home, I'm going to do that. And yes, I will email you. Yes, I will be on your Facebook live stream. Yes, I will provide that for you so that you can mail your mailing list. And these people are like, yeah, I'll do anything to help you, Cliff. Let me know. If you ever want to jump on a call. It's like all of these people at this event have. And here's the thing, it's not just the people I know. There are people I've never met before. They're relatively new to this podcasting space. And so they have no idea who I am. But I'm meeting them, and I'm actually asking them the same question. So what is your single greatest frustration right now? What is your big dream that you have? When do you hope to achieve that by? Why is that 10 years from now? Why can't you, what's holding you back from having that next year? And just having those conversations. And they're like, light bulb, whoa, mind blown. And they say, so what do you do? And I said, well, I used to do this. And I talked about the fact that I've helped over 30,000 people launch a podcast and blah, 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 blah. But I've transitioned out of that and what I'm doing now. And I've got this conference coming up. And they're like, what can I do to help you? I'm so glad you asked. And I'm telling you, I have an entire team of people who are like, Cliff, we got you, man. This is awesome. So why should you come to Free the Dream? Because, well, quite frankly, whatever it is that you want out of life, it's not, you can have it. It's not a lack of resources. It's just a lack of resourcefulness. Tap in to the people around you. Ask for help. And you might think, well, Cliff, I don't have the network you do. I don't have relationships with the greatest and highest level influencers in my industry that I'm trying to reach. I just don't have that. Well, guess how you get them? You get them by going to events like Free the Dream. You get, you know what? Many of those influencers are going to be, you will have an opportunity to rub shoulders with those people. You'll have opportunities to connect with me. And here's the thing, I can tell you this, anybody you ask for help at Free the Dream, they'll all desperately want to help you succeed. So don't delay. I don't care how busy your schedule is. I don't care if you've got a schedule. Damian Ross, he's like on the fence. Damian, I'm waiting for your ticket to be reserved. I know you're out there. I know you're hovering over the buy now button. But Damian's like, Cliff, I'm going to Content Marketing World, and then I've got this other one, and dude, I so want to come. I so want to come, and it's just like, man, can I be away from my rig for 3 weeks and stuff? But Damian, you're gonna come. I'll see you there, brother. And dude, the fact is that you guys have heard me talk about Damian Ross in prior vlogs. For those of you who haven't, well, you got to come to Free the Dream and meet Damian, because he's gonna come. Just like I came here. Yeah, I had lots of travel before, and yeah, I've got a lot of things to do, but there's so much value in coming and connecting at an event, because you know what? There's an entire team of people here that were waiting to help me achieve my dream. And at Free the Dream, there's gonna be hundreds of people that want to help you succeed. Come and ask. See you there in Franklin, Tennessee. Head to freethedream.live. Reserve your seat today. freethedream.live. I'll see you in Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them.